Hey there lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie, where I love to talk all things makeup, especially makeup tutorials. And in this video, I am going to be covering my cute, fresh summer makeup look that I've been going to all summer long. So I only have a handful of products here because when it's summertime, it's really hot, it's humid. Where I'm at, it's dry climate, but it still gets really, really hot. And so if I'm working outside, coming in and out between the AC and the heat outside, I'm going outside, my makeup's melting. I come inside and it starts, freezing on me. But this is the makeup look that lasts me all day and that I felt really fresh in. And also with this lemon dress, I just wanted to do this look for you guys and not keep anything. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, what I always do, I always, cover these blue and purple, discoloration around this corner of my eye here that just really helps open and brighten my eyes so that I can look very fresh. And already it makes a big difference. I mean, honestly, like I can put this color corrector on and then just throw on some mascara and be totally happy. Maybe not totally happy because I like color on my cheeks. And the discoloration, it's not shining through my concealer, and so I feel like my concealer is really lacking. Although I am layering up, using my color corrector and using my concealer, I'm using very thin layers so that that color corrector can help the concealer do its job and so that I'm not creasing crazily by the end of the day. Now, this next thing, actually, I ran out of my foundation, my other foundation that I use every single day. I used it all up. So wait for that video coming of all of my makeup empties. I'm gonna collect a few and then go through what I liked and review all of those. But my next foundation I want to use up is my Nars foundation. This is a soft matte complete foundation and I have it in Mont Blonc Light 2. So this is just a tad light on me, but I feel like that's okay. Especially because I can come in with my bronzer and go extra heavy-handed. And I used to love this foundation. I mean, it is full coverage. Like, you do not need a lot. But I found that it started breaking up on my chin really badly. So I wanted to continue using this foundation, but use it in a way that works for me. So that's the wonderful thing about products, is that maybe they don't work for you just straight out of the packaging, and so maybe you have to mix and match a little bit to get what you want. So what I'm going to do, this is very, very liquidy. So I'm going to just put a little bit on my hand, not very much. I'll show you how much I put on there. See, just a tiny, tiny bit. And then I have this moisturizer. This is the Alastin Skincare Ultra Nourishing Moisturizer with TriHex technology. So I have this moisturizer and I really like it, but it's just a tad too light for my skin. Even though I have oily skin, this somehow doesn't give enough hydration for my skin. So again, taking a product that doesn't work straight out of the packaging for me, but if I mix it and with my foundation that is heavy, it creates like a skin tint for me, and you'll see here. So I'm gonna mix these, and you could put this on a palette too, but I mean, I'm showing you realistic, like this is how I do it every single day. So just mix that there, and it does change the texture a little bit. It makes that foundation just a little bit thicker there. And then I just come in, and I actually like to just use my fingers. And it is like a skin tint, because I do really like this moisturizer. It is very glowy, but it just doesn't moisturize quite enough like I want it to. And I'm gonna have a little bit of streaking, so we'll come in and fix that. But first I'm just gonna get it on my face. And normally I don't use my fingers for putting on foundation, but this one, because it's like a skin tint, I just felt like it was most appropriate to put it on with my fingers so I can get the most color payoff rather than it soaking up into my sponge or, a brush. So just go ahead and put this on all of the areas. So you can see there's like a little bit of color to help cover up, my discoloration, but it's just a little bit. It's not too much. So now I've got that all over my face. And I've got a little bit of streaking, and I come in and wipe all that off. I've got a little bit of streaking going on. Not, it's not too bad. This is because it is so customizable where I can put a little bit more foundation to moisturizer or moisturizer to foundation. Every time is honestly just a little bit different. And sometimes I just come in, just do a little bit of patting motions with my sponge. Now that will take away the glow just a little bit here, but it's gonna help make sure I don't have any streaks from my hands. So there, now I've got a little bit of coverage. I've got a beautiful glow from this moisturizer. And also, maybe it's not a good moisturizer, right after washing my face or waking up in the morning or at night, but to wear throughout the day, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's really awesome. And then also because I get the long-lasting wear from this foundation, but it gets a little heavy, combining the two, I just get this perfect combo that it wears off beautifully. Rather than looking heavy, because this can look pretty heavy by the end of the night for me if I wear it just by itself. It really gives me great options all around combining these two. The next thing that I'm going to do is come in with my concealer, and this is where, this is really optional and where you can customize it even more. You can put a little more concealer in spots that you feel like you need concealer, maybe on your cheeks a little more or your chin. Like I've got a few little breakout spots that are going on, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it all that much. I'm just gonna come in and put a little bit around my eyes. So that's where I want the most coverage. Because honestly, if I try and come in and like cover up, these spots, I can put a little bit on my chin here. But if I try and come and cover up these spots, they're just going to wear off at the end of the day. And because this is more of a skin tint, I might as well just kind of let them poke through. So I'm just blending this all out with tapping motions. Now I'm going to come in with just a little bit of powder to set this. Just a little bit, scraping off the excess there. Focusing this first on my hood and next to my brow bone, and then coming under my eye just a little bit. The other great thing about makeup is that our preferences change, and also, going through different phases of how you apply makeup. Like not that long ago, I was only putting powder, right here in the outer corner of my eye. I didn't bring it in to my inner corner, but I've been doing it just a little bit lately. Also, my makeup last, a little bit longer. I'm gonna come in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm sorry, I was so hasty. I wanted to create a video showing you how I repress this, but I was so hasty. And I was just like, I really want to repress this. I want to repress it. And so I repressed it and I did not get a video of it. But when I need to repress something in the future, I will show you guys how I do it. So now I'm going to come in, and I like for this look, especially my summer looks, I like to come in with a bronzer that has more yellow in it because it shows off kind of a tan, if you will. And I'm fair skinned. I do not tan at all. But, the summer, this bronzer just gives me that fake tan look. And because I used a lighter foundation, I don't have to worry about coming in with a lighter concealer or anything to highlight spots that I want highlighted on my face to look brighter, because I'm just using my bronzer to now come in and fill the spots that I want to be filled. And when it's a fresh, cute summer look, I'm going easy peasy here, okay? I'm not wanting to spend a lot of time doing this, and so I'm just barely dipping my brush in there and on my nose, and then also on my eyes. Instead of using, going all fancy and using a eyeshadow brush, I'm just going to use my bronzer brush. There, now we've got some bronzer on our face. We're looking a little more like it's summertime. And then my next favorite thing that I like to do is come in with M Cosmetics So Soft Baby Cream Blush. And I'm going to take just my brush here. And I really like this one because it's not straight pink. It's got a little bit of like orange, I guess orange. It's more of like a peachy pink. And I don't do straight peach. But when it's got some pink in it, that fits my skin tone a lot better. And this blush will just give me that fresh look every single time. Is, you know, as we're getting to the end of summer here, we're getting into harvest season where, you know, the peaches are starting to look great on those trees. I just like to put this kind of all over a little bit. If you want, you can put a little on your eyelid. I just love that blush. It's very glowy and it's very pinky and peachy and just beautiful. It helps me feel fresh every single time. And it matches with a lot of different things actually. Now I'm going to come in. This is where you're going to want to use whatever gold highlighter you have, okay? And I'm coming in with my Colourpop Lunch Money highlighter. It was so much around the edges that it was really hard to get, and so I just kind of like repressed it to that one edge. And I'm gonna put just a little bit, just right here, the outer corner of my eye. Do that on the other side. And the reason I use gold versus something else, sometimes gold can be a little bit tricky on my skin tone, but I like to use gold in the summertime because again, it's going along with that bronzer that's a little bit yellow, and doing the gold, you know, it's a little bit yellow. It kind of gives that like beachy sunset summery look where you've got this perfect tan and you are glowing perfectly, right? I do not tan perfectly and I do not glow perfectly, so I mimic that with my makeup products. And then this is where really the magic comes in, is I'm going to put this on my eyelid. And it kind of gives this like wet, fresh, cute look, and also it brightens up my eye even more. And then always make sure to put that in the corner of my eye. And if you want, you can go ahead and put it on the rest of your face, but because I'm already, you know, decently glowy with this moisturizer that was mixed in with my foundation, I am not going to put highlighter in the rest of my face. So now I'm just going to brush up my eyebrows, make sure they are shaped okay. And you know the one benefit of using that moisturizer, because it's not super heavy, and I found that, you know, it wasn't moisturizing enough, because I do get oily in my T-zone, it actually doesn't get too oily as a skin tint, right? Because I'm using a matte foundation with the moisturizer. So the matte foundation is going to help those oils not break through as much, but also because this is a lighter moisturizer, it doesn't make me look like a grease ball at the end of the day, which I really appreciate. So now I'm going to come in, and I'm not going to go really heavy-handed with my mascara. No, I like a really full look, full black look when it comes to my lashes. I like them very voluminous normally, but when I'm just doing a really fresh, cute summer look, I just need a little bit of color. If you wanted to use brown mascara, you could. That would give you an even softer look. But here I'm just kind of doing more sparse look rather than very voluminous. Making sure they all of my lashes get coated. Just enough to let them shine through, but not too heavy. Making sure they're all spread out, you know, really well, no clumpiness or anything. Now, when it comes to lips, you know, this is where you want another like kind of peachy color if you have it. I do not have a peach, so I'm going to kind of make my own peachy pink lipstick. So I'm going to be coming in with my NYX Lime Loud Lip Pencil in Gold Crusher here. This is actually a nude lip liner. And it's a very kind of peachy nude. So with this look, I'm going, you know, very soft, very feminine. And so that peachy nude, well, it's not making my lips stand out a whole lot. So now I'm gonna come in with my cream blush. And I did do a video on makeup hacks that actually work. And it has to do with cream blush, using it on your lips. If you haven't seen that, I'll put it up in the cards here so you can go look at that. There are tons of tips and tricks in that video. Now, one thing to keep in mind I found with these Cosmetics cream blushes is that they go on the cheeks like really, really pretty and true to color as well. But when I try and use them on my lips, they seem to be a little bit lighter and a little bit different. So just keep that in mind as you use them. I'm going to come in and put a little bit more blush here. There we go. Because when it's summertime, I feel like you just have to have extra blush to really show, you know, that cuteness, that freshness. But by combining these two, I'm able to get the peachy look that I was going for. I think it really brings this look together. It keeps the eyes nice and fresh and bright, but it puts a focus on my cheeks where the blush is. That is the magic about makeup. You can mix and match and get whatever colors or whatever look that you're going for. Here you have my cute, fresh summer makeup look. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!